Oh, looks like we're going live now. Okay. Just going to test everything. Just going to give it a couple more minutes. We're a couple minutes early. Excuse the poor lighting. I'm going to be switching it over to my screen. Okay, audio's working. Turn that down. So I'm going to be switching it over to my screen. So I've got my comfy clothes on, my comfy hair, my smeared mascara. So excuse that, but I'm just going to be switching it over to a screen pretty soon. So I'm hanging out in my basement office. My husband and kids are upstairs, so I've got some quiet time away from them. So probably about 1 more minute and we'll get going. I will maybe just switch it over now to my screen, and I'll mention a couple things too. If you are watching this from your phone, it might be a little bit difficult to chat in the chat box. You'll be able to view it okay, but we've had some problems with the chat box on your phone. If you're using your tablet, that might be okay. I haven't tested that. If you're using a desktop or a laptop, it works really well. So there is one step if you do want to chat, and I'd love for you to say hi if you're in here so I can see who's watching. If you're on your laptop or desktop or maybe even tablet, I think that works as well. Head over to the chat box, and you just have to do one step. You type it in, then it'll ask you to click on like Facebook or something so that you can log in through that. Just click that and it'll allow you to, so that we can see who's chatting, and it'll allow you to say hi or if you have any questions. So I'm just going to switch it over to my screen share. Share my entire screen. So we will be here, generally runs at least 45 minutes, close to an hour, but I've got some really good content planned for you guys. So I think you'll find it really useful and really helpful. So I'm going to bring this up and we will start in a few seconds. So I'm going to check occasionally if there's anybody asking any questions in the chat box. So I might not see it right away. All right, so it's 8:30 now, so I might as well get started. So hi and welcome to the Mama Recharged webinar, How to Increase Energy and Feel Good Again. I am your host, Terry Watt, registered holistic nutritionist, wife, mom of 2, and creator of Mama Recharged. So what will we be covering in this webinar? First, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and my health journey, plus my rock bottom moment. We will cover the 4 steps to making big changes in your energy and shifts in your weight. I will help you determine if you're in the right place, if this information I'm going to share is for you. I will go over how I finally was able to make big changes. We will talk about what's really going on in your body to be causing your low energy, food cravings, and maybe even an inability to drop those extra few pounds. And finally, 3 simple steps to increased energy and weight loss. Just going to take a sip of water. Make sure we are working well before I really get going. Yep. All right, so let's dive in. So my promise to you, if you stay until the end, you're going to leave this webinar knowing exactly how your food affects your energy level and fat loss, so you can start boosting your energy and feeling better right away. No going hungry or magic pills involved. Bonus gift. So if you are on live, I promise you a bonus for staying till the end. I have a full 1-day meal plan for you that focuses on high energy weight loss foods, so you can see what a day in the Mama Recharged method looks like and have a few of my favorite recipes you can add into your weeks. So I also, I've added another one in there as well. I've got our full week meal plan. So you've got the 2 and some bonus recipes in there as well. So before we go any further, I will introduce myself. My name is Terry. I'm the proud mom of 2, ages 3 and 6. I'm a lover of decorating, coffee, turning comfort foods into healthier versions, and I'm obsessed with learning about nutrition. the power of mindset, and overall living your best life. I'm a bit of a self-help junkie. And I help moms get their energy back with a focus on keeping it simple and delicious. The reason I got into doing what I'm doing today is because of my past struggles. So I will share a little bit about that. So here's my journey. I'll dive into that a little bit. So the first picture is me with my mullet haircut. Thanks, Mom. And the second picture is my university days. I gained a lot of weight starting about grade 11, and it just kept increasing. These were the days of low-fat everything, calorie counting, and lots of artificial sweeteners. I was exercising in the gym almost every day, and I still was putting on weight. So my energy started to really drop in about high school, and I went from being a little kid who had so much energy that I could never even take a nap to a teen that just wanted to nap all the time. After university, I really started dieting and restricting food and lost a little weight, but every day, even every hour, was a struggle. Food was always on my mind. I had such intense food cravings. My days involved intense efforts in eating good all day and then nightly binges, and pretty much every aspect of my health started to deteriorate. I had acne worse than in my teens. My body ached like I was 80 years old. My bloating and gas got worse and worse, and I wanted to nap all the time. I barely had the energy to get through the day. I thought I was eating healthy and doing all the things to try to lose weight, but it never worked. I finally hit my low point about 6 years ago, the point when I realized I needed to figure things out and to do something different. It was when my daughter was about a year old. I had so many things I wanted to do, like playing and going out with my daughter, all the things that I saw on Pinterest. I wanted to have a clean house and I wanted to make healthy food, but I just didn't have the energy. I saw doctors and I did blood work, and they all just told me how healthy I was. Then finally one day I had enough, and I decided I needed to figure things out on my own and that I wasn't going to live that way the rest of my life. But I can now look back and be grateful that I went through all of that, because that's what led me here, doing what I love to do most, helping moms who are feeling the way I used to feel. So fast forward to today, I have the energy to keep up with my 2 kids, with building a business and eating clean. My energy is stable throughout the day, and I no longer have intense food cravings. I enjoy the healthy diet that I now eat, and I don't crave the unhealthy things I used to binge on. There's a huge list of symptoms that have disappeared, but I'll just mention a few, like the acne, the bloating and gas, the brain fog, the constant runny nose. So let's shift things for a minute, and let's look at the 3 things I learned to make big changes in my energy and shifts in my weight. So what did I do to make such a big change? We'll dive into that. Just gonna check and make sure we're all good. Okay, looks like we're all good. So let's dive into the next part. So things I learned to make big changes in my energy and shifts in my weight. So number 1, it's not about willpower. Willpower will never win when your body is out of balance. Blood sugar imbalance, inflammation, and food allergies take your body out of balance, and no amount of willpower will help. Number 2, I learned which foods were high energy foods for me and which foods were energy draining foods. And number 3, I got to the real truth of which foods create fat loss and which create fat storage, and that it really doesn't matter how many calories they have in them. So next, let's pause and find out if you are in the right place. So who is this for? This method might not be right for everybody. It's for a specific group of women. So before we go further, let's see if it is the method that's right for you. It's for women who aren't feeling their best. They are finding they just don't have the energy anymore. No matter how much sleep they get, they are still tired. Maybe you have gone to the doctor and have been told everything is normal when you don't feel normal at all. On top of that, you're likely finding that you're a slave to the evening cravings. You want to stick to a plan, but the cravings always win. So you're in the right place if nothing is working, no matter how much willpower you use or how little you eat. Eating less and exercising more just isn't helping. Also, you likely are too tired to exercise and too hungry to eat less anyways. I'll explain more why it's not that simple, and in some cases, eating more will actually help you lose weight. The next one, you already eat pretty healthy, but still feel like crap. So I'll explain why many of those foods we thought were healthy aren't really, and how some foods might be okay for some people, but might be causing big problems internally for you. And next, you are lacking energy on a daily basis and feel like life could be so much more with more energy. Next, you have a few extra pounds that won't come off. So if any of these resonate with you, then you're in the right place. So my big fail. My big fail was eating all the light, low-calorie, low-fat foods like I mentioned earlier. I thought the less calories I ate and the more I exercised, the less I'd weigh and the healthier I'd be. I thought it was as simple as calories in versus calories out, and if I just took in less calories, I'd lose weight. This is what we always seem to be told. I did it for years and never stopped to actually realize that I wasn't actually getting any better, nor was I losing any weight. And actually, my binges just got worse. I learned that calories are a very small part of a very big picture. Whether you burn or store fat has more to do with your hormones and what else is going on in your body. A calorie from a piece of toast is a whole lot different than a calorie from an avocado in terms of what it does inside your body. So the way it digests, whether it's causing your immune system to flare up, which you'd be surprised how many foods we're eating every day are doing this to so many of us. And the type of gut bacteria it is feeding. All of this has a whole lot more to do with your weight and your energy than the amount of calories in that food. I'll touch on all of these things a little bit later. I also learned that cutting calories and adding in more exercise often lowers our metabolism. Our body goes into starvation mode, which teaches it that it needs to hold on to fat just in case food is scarce. So you are in the right place if you are eating all the healthy foods and following the diet rules, but still can't lose weight and still feel like crap. You are eating yogurt, you are eating whole wheat bread instead of white, the oatmeal, and things are just getting worse instead of better. So my big discovery, most of us that have no energy, that are holding on to that weight, that just feel like crap, have something bigger going on internally. There's a war going on a daily basis that is showing up as all these things: tiredness, puffiness, low mood or moodiness, unclear head. There's so many different symptoms it can cause, but the three big ones I notice are tiredness, holding on to weight, and intense food cravings. I learned that so many of us have developed food sensitivities, which has generally occurred just because of our lifestyles today and the foods we've been eating over the last 10, 20, 30 years. This normal North American lifestyle has led to a few things, one being sensitivities to food. So what does that mean? What does the sensitivities mean? It means that normal, seemingly innocent foods our body now sees as foreign invaders. As soon as you take one bite, your body now goes on attack. The symptoms of these sensitivities and allergies are often subtle and gradual. So most people don't realize they even have a food sensitivity. Some symptoms might show up right away, like a stuffed up nose, but more commonly, they show up a day or so later. The top allergens are generally foods we eat on a daily basis. So your tiredness, your puffiness, your headaches just seem to be the norm now, and you aren't really able to notice a connection to any particular food. It's so frustrating. All the years I spent trying different diets, trying to restrict calories and eat all the so-called healthy foods, really for nothing, usually just for things to get worse. So now we will switch gears. I'm just gonna have a sip of water. So So now we'll switch gears and talk about when everything changed. The 3 big things that made a difference. Number 1, cut out the top 2 food allergens. Technically, for most, it's actually label sensitivities, but I use the 2 terms interchangeably. So they're not technically the same things, but for this webinar, I often use both words. Number 2, introduce more nourishing whole foods. Number 3, as I learned more about the body, I started to change my mindset around food. Food as fuel. So the more I learned about what was going on, the more my mindset changed and my relationship with food changed. So you are in the right place if you crave carbs and your willpower, you crave carbs and your willpower isn't strong enough to get you to stop from eating them. Every morning I would vow to eat better, only to make it to the afternoon or on a good day till the evening, and then just give in to all the cravings. I'd often eat whatever carbs were in the house, like the granola bars, the chips, the popcorn. Next one, you are in the right place if you feel like you can't live without fill in the blank. Most common answer is cheese or bread / carbs, any type of carbs. And those are also the most common food sensitivities too. So I'll explain this link a little bit later. And my big mistake, another big mistake. Going year after year, putting in so much effort to try to eat good, trying to work up all my willpower, only to fail time after time. Continuing to do the same thing, but every day promising myself that I would do better, only to give in to the food cravings later on that day once again. When I learned that cravings actually had an internal basis, that both blood sugar imbalances and food sensitivities are the source of the most powerful food cravings, and no amount of willpower will work. Once you balance blood sugar and get rid of the foods you're sensitive to, you can get rid of those cravings. Imagine your life if you didn't have that daily struggle with cravings. These 2 things are the main driving forces behind those cravings. So imagine being in control of your cravings. How good would that feel if that was a thing? Chips might still cross your mind, but you can easily choose not to have them without that struggle that you're so used to. At least that's how it was for me. You're in the right place if you are just sick and tired of all the BS out there. You've tried so many things and have practically given up, but not quite, because you know there has to be a way. So if you are resonating with the struggles that I've been talking about, then I think you'll love what I have coming up for you. So the major truth. What you know about healthy eating is totally wrong, and it's okay to be mad about it. A lot of these foods we're told to eat to be healthy are actually harming us. We have overconsumed them, and now they're causing us big problems. So you'll see here, this Canada Food Guide is an example of that. So you can get your calcium from places other than milk. Most of those whole grains are causing problems in your gut. Fat is healthy. It is essential for good thyroid function, for good metabolism, and for weight loss. And in simplified terms, fat is not what makes you fat. Sugar is what makes you fat. And when I say sugar, it's not just sweets. It's also things like bread. Bread turns to sugar. So it really isn't much different, but we'll dive a little more into that in a minute. What's really going on in your body? So let's find out. We're going to dive into that next. So there are 2 big factors we're going to be talking about. One is the blood sugar story. So I'm going to give you an example first. So let's say you are at a restaurant in the morning, or maybe even at home in the morning. You are trying to lose weight, so you choose maybe a low-fat yogurt, maybe you add on some granola and some fruit, instead of something like bacon and eggs. So I'll explain what happens in your body and why that low-fat yogurt will lead to more fat storage than the bacon and eggs, which so many of us would often go to that yogurt instead. So you eat the yogurt with granola and fruit. That is packed with carbohydrates. There's added sugar in the yogurt, there's sugar in the granola, plus the actual oats are carbohydrates and the fruit are carbohydrates. So your body consumes a large amount of carbs with not a whole lot of protein or fat. Since it's mainly carbs, it quickly breaks down to glucose, which is sugar. When your blood sugar increases, then insulin gets sent in. If that glucose isn't being used for energy, then insulin converts it to fat storage on the body. So we'll break it down. 1, you eat carbs. 2, carbs break down to glucose, which is sugar. 3, insulin gets sent in to take it to the cells to be used for energy. 4, but if that glucose isn't being used for energy, then insulin converts it to fat storage. So this is a very simplified way of explaining it, but it explains it fairly well. So whether that's yogurt, a low-fat muffin, or any of those low-calorie snack packs or cereals, they are big culprits to you storing more fat. The blood sugar factor relates to fat loss, but it also relates to energy. When you have a carb-heavy meal, your blood sugar spikes, you'll have energy for a little bit, but soon enough, your energy will crash. You then naturally crave carbs to get that blood sugar level back up. So you have more carbs and maybe some coffee to get more energy, and the cycle continues. The cravings, the low energy, and the fat storage. And most of us are doing this day in and day out. So based on this, you can see now the whole low-cal, 100-calorie snack actually works against you. So number 2, two big factors on what's really going on in your body. Number 1 was the blood sugar story. Number 2 is food sensitivities. So not everyone has a food sensitivity, but if you are finding you're going through your days tired, you have intense cravings, and you just don't feel great, then chances are you have a food sensitivity to some degree. So think food allergy, and you might conjure up the worst case scenario, like a child going into anaphylactic shock after exposure to peanuts. No doubt, a severe food allergy is scary, but it's also relatively rare. A much more common scenario is an adult with a low-grade food allergy to gluten, for example, who actually never pinpoints the cause of her misery. So it is so common, and we're realizing just how common it is, especially if you're not feeling great. And it is it's often called a hidden food sensitivity because you don't pinpoint the two. So let's use an example. So let's say it's a mom and her symptoms are vague. So let's say she has bloating, constipation, and weight gain. And let's say her exposure is frequent. So she eats, let's say it's gluten, she eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner, she'll have some. So the connection is murky. And over years, the hidden allergy takes a toll on the immune system. The result of an overworked immune system is everything from weight gain to irritable bowel syndrome to arthritis, sometimes even worse, like cancer. Just gonna take a sip of water. So when you have, when you've developed a food sensitivity, one bite of a food you are sensitive to will put your immune system on defense. If you are unaware that this food is a problem for you and you consume it on a daily basis, then your immune system will always be on attack. This takes a toll on your body. It takes away from your energy, leaving you tired. The common symptoms of food sensitivity. So there's such an array of symptoms. Everybody's different. I mentioned a couple already. The symptoms can be wide ranging, like I mentioned, and vary from person to person. But here are some of the most common ones. So there's bloating, gas, migraines, headaches, feeling foggy, cough, runny nose, feeling under the weather, stomach ache, irritable bowel, so that can be constipation or diarrhea or a combination of the two, hives, acne. So again, there can be even more symptoms you might be experiencing that could be related to food sensitivities. These are just some of the more common ones. So a few more common symptoms I'm going to mention. You might be finding yourself saying, I can't live without my fill in the blank. So like I said, food intolerances are actually often associated with intense food cravings to those foods. You actually get sort of a high from them, so your body naturally feels addicted to them. The next one, if you find yourself saying that you have tried several diets, eat pretty healthy, exercise regularly, and still can't seem to lose weight, when there is a war going on inside your body, your digestion, your metabolism, your body as a whole is not running like it should. So weight gain often results. You feel puffy. If you relate to that. With a food intolerance, you tend to hold on to water. So you might notice if you go on a low carb diet or just cut out gluten, that you lose quite a few pounds in the first week. That often is the excess water getting flushed out. I've heard that the holding onto water is it's sort of a way for your body to dilute the toxins or the inflammation that the foods are creating. So the next one, you might be saying finding that your health isn't what you want it to be. And the next one, if you find that seasonal hay fever seems to last all year long. So this is a sign of your immune system always being on attack. So food sensitivities, I'm just going to sort of mention a couple more things. So it relates to your energy, your cravings, and your weight. As we covered that already. It causes inflammation and overworked immune system, leading to chronic tiredness. Food sensitivities cause an opioid-like effect, leading to intense cravings. It causes water retention and a puffiness, as well as reduced metabolism and thyroid function, and often leads to chronic disease if left unchecked. So we're about halfway, a little over halfway through. I'm just going to switch slides if you want to grab a quick cup of tea or something, glass of water. And I'm just going to check the chat box. So it'll be about a minute and we'll switch over to the second half. We're going to really dive into into the action tasks, I guess. So I'm just going to check. See if we are good. And if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to post that in the chat box. I'm just going to see how we're doing here. I'm going to make sure I'm not just talking to myself. And if you guys have any questions at all. Okay, good. A little bit of a delay. I'm going to refresh this. Okay, we're good. No questions so far. Okay, so let's dive into the second half. Just gonna wait for this to come up. Okay, so 4 steps to increased energy and weight loss. Let's dive into that. So step 1, willpower will never win when your body is out of balance. Blood sugar imbalance, inflammation, and food allergies need to be addressed. I think it's nice to know that it's not that you just don't have enough willpower. So for years, I thought that. So let's talk inflammation. In the past, when I would try to lose weight, try to get healthier, I was making one big mistake. I was ignoring inflammation. Actually, I wasn't ignoring it. I didn't even know it was there. I just thought inflammation was an old person thing dealing with arthritis. So what exactly is inflammation? Inflammation is when your body is irritated and reactive. It's like a slow burning flame in the body. Acute inflammation is one thing, but chronic inflammation is bad news, and it's caused very often by the foods we're eating, and we don't even realize they're inflammatory to us. What does inflammation do? So number 1, it causes leptin to be less effective. Your satiety hormone, that's what leptin is, it's your satiety hormone, and you don't get that signal that you're full, so your hunger can be out of control. So that's one common thing I used to really notice, especially with snacks and things like that. I just never was satisfied and I could just keep eating. So number 2 with inflammation, it worsens insulin resistance, and that's your fat storage hormone. Number 3, excess fluid and swelling, so it makes you look puffy. So this is when you have inflammation, you often have excess fluid and swelling, which causes a puffy look. Number 4, Inflammation keeps you stuck in fat storage mode. Number 5, inflammation drains your energy. So, oh, hi, Lauren. You see Lauren's on. We're on to getting rid of inflammation. So inflammation often means, getting rid of inflammation often means less bloating, inches gone, pounds up, energy up, clear skin. So this is something, maybe this hasn't been on your radar before, but it's a pretty big deal with all these areas. So we're going to dive into that. Actually, next we are, okay, yeah. So for inflammation, I didn't mention this yet. We want to remove the top 2 food allergens. Those are the most common things that are causing inflammation in a lot of us. We want to remove other inflammation-producing foods like sugar, processed foods, and bad fats. So those are the sort of the overview of why most of us are feeling inflamed or having those symptoms. So step number 2, blood sugar. Like I said earlier, balancing blood sugar is huge for losing weight and increasing energy. It's important to get off of that blood sugar roller coaster we spend so much time on. So 3 important hormones related to blood sugar. Insulin, that's a fat storage hormone. So we want to cut refined carbs, or at least reduce them. Leptin is your satiety hormone. So if you are running on the blood sugar roller coaster on a continual basis, leptin will become exhausted, similar to how insulin does actually. You start to not have an off switch with food. You are never satisfied and always hungry. And next, glucagon, which is the weight loss hormone superhero. Add in non-starchy vegetables, protein, and fats for more, I can't talk, I just need a drink of water. Okay, so glucagon. I'm getting distracted. Okay, let's get back on track here. So yeah, to increase glucagon, we want to add in non-starchy vegetables, protein, and fats. So earlier we spoke a little bit about insulin, and to simplify it, the more carbs you eat, the more insulin is produced all at once, and the more fat storage that occurs. Unless you are actually burning off that food, which most of us aren't doing when we eat carbs. So often, if you are eating sort of a carb-heavy meal with not a whole lot of fat, not a whole lot of protein, carb-heavy meal, let's say for breakfast, and then all morning you are sitting in your office or commuting or something like that, that will often lead to fat storage. So let's dive a little bit more into glucagon. That's something that is not often on our radar. So glucagon, like I said, signals satiety and fullness. The more glucagon you have, the more energy you burn while you're resting. Whereas the more insulin you have, the more fat you will store while resting. So how do we increase our glucagon? One way is adding in more non-starchy vegetables to our plate. Another way is adding in healthy fats. Another is adding in protein, adding in probiotics, adding in more fiber to your meal. So those are the main ways. So step number 3, adding in an abundance of high energy foods. So we want to feed the good guys, the good bacteria. We want to increase glucagon. We want to increase the nutrients your body needs. We want to calm down the body. So anti-inflammatory foods, antioxidant-rich foods, and less processed packaged foods. You want more real foods that your body actually knows what to do with. Step 4, lifestyle hacks to increase energy and weight loss. So sleep is a big one. We are simply not getting enough sleep, and quality of sleep is lacking too. So this is so common with moms. Exercise. So we want to exercise smarter, not harder. Exercise is so important and beneficial, but too much can also have a negative effect on your weight and your energy. So balance is key, as well as adding in strength training and not just cardio. We decide we want to lose weight, so we go to the gym and run for an hour and all that work, and it's not even helping quite often. So we'll dive into that a little bit. Next, actually, with exercise, I'm going to mention one more thing. It's important with exercise to find what works in your life. So some of us are really lacking in exercise. We're not moving much at all. We're sitting so much in the day. And then there's the other spectrum of that you might feel like you want to lose weight, go on this weight loss journey and add in a ton of cardio, for example. And that actually can be sort of hindering your efforts. So with exercise, you want sort of a happy medium in there. And what I find is most important is to find what works in your life. So is that doing a daily dance party with your kids, putting on some music and jumping around, using your kids as weights, adding in some squats? Or is that setting aside 30 minutes of me time, doing a workout that includes both weights and cardio? So figure out what's going to work best for you and have sort of a happy medium in there. So another one we want to address is stress. We want to reduce stress. So a couple tips with that: journaling, meditation, going for a walk, and adding in more me time. So we're just touching on those right now. But those are a few big things for increasing energy, weight loss, feeling good. We want to address lifestyle issues as well. So let's recap what we've learned, what we've covered. Number 1, we want to reduce inflammation. Number 2, we want to balance the blood sugar. Number 3, we want to bring in high energy foods. Number 4 are the lifestyle shifts. So I know this is a lot of stuff, a lot of changes that I've thrown at you all at once. So I've created a program so that these changes are actually doable. A step-by-step guided system to get your energy back and to actually turn it into a lifestyle change. I know our perspective on our health changes once we have kids. Our sole focus is no longer on our clothes fitting us well, still a big part, I know, but we now care about our long-term health. We want to be around a long time for our kids, and we want to feel good in that time we are here. So that is why I created the Mama Charge method. It is not designed to be just 4 weeks and you're done. It was important that I make these 4 weeks something that you will want to continue. You will see the changes. You will be eating healthier. You will have a system. Your body will calm down. And most importantly, you will still enjoy your food. You will have a new arsenal of recipes, and something that once seemed crazy that could never happen, like giving up gluten or dairy or your evening treat, is now totally something you do and love. And you can still have an evening treat, just a different version. By the end of the 4 weeks, you will have determined if those foods are actually a problem for you, and if so, how much of a problem. You will start to shift your focus from a constant state of using your willpower to make your food choices to a mindset of using your food as fuel. This happens through learning a little more about what's going on in your body, but it also happens with the hormone and internal craving shifts that I talked about earlier. So if you don't mind, I'm going to share a little bit about the Mama Charge method. If some of you are wanting some more support going forward, if you're feeling like it's too hard to make these changes on your own, I'm going to share a little bit about the program to see if it's right for you. So who is it for? You are craving more energy. You have a lot to do. You also have a lot you need to do with your busy life as a mom, but you just need that energy. You want a plan that is doable. You are sick of dieting, of being hungry in order to try to eat right and lose weight. You don't want to be eating chicken breasts and broccoli every night. You still want to be able to enjoy a glass of wine on occasion and maybe a piece or two of dark chocolate. You are not interested in doing something for a few weeks only to find out it's impossible to stick with. You are also sick and tired of how you're feeling. You want the energy and health that you enjoyed in the past and the freedom from cravings. You've been told too many times that your blood work is normal and you are sick of nothing being done. You also aren't interested in being on medication the rest of your life. You are ready to take your health into your own hands. So I'm wondering if this resonates with you. And I want you to know that you can get better without spending hours every day in the kitchen. You can have your cup of coffee and a treat, just a new healthier version of that treat. And giving up gluten and dairy doesn't have to be a sad and depressing thing. You will discover a whole new world of great foods, and these foods won't have control over you. You will be able to enjoy the freedom that comes with the elimination of those intense cravings. Imagine the freedom that brings. Your body will have a better ability to tell you when you are full and tell you when you are actually hungry. No more binge eating, no more giving into the cravings and then feeling bad about it the next day, and no more spending thousands on shakes or pills. I created this program because of the changes I saw in my life. I know there are so many women out there who are feeling stuck. They are feeling the way I used to feel, and they don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how to make the changes. And everything they're hearing about paleo, keto, clean eating, gluten-free, all just seems so hard to do. So that's why I created this program. Just going to take another sip. So my mission is to give you a plan that helps you to see a change, but that saves you time in the kitchen. I've included tons of meals that are healthier versions to those meals that we're used to and love. I've included snacks that won't have you just eating apples, breakfast that will give you energy all day long. We utilize leftovers in a strategic way. We also have a look at those things that often sabotage healthy eating, like stress, being too busy, and being too tired. My goal is that you go away from these 4 weeks wanting to continue on with this lifestyle and being able to do so. So let's look a little closer at what's included in the Mama Recharge method. So first of all, what's included is your 4-week meal plan. So I have got you covered. Usually when you're switching to a clean eating lifestyle, when you're switching up your diet, those first few weeks are the hardest until you shift those cravings, until you create new habits. You really need that guidance with a more structured meal plan. So I spent a lot of time making sure this meal plan was good, that it was delicious, that it was simple, and that it was strategic so that it's easy. So there's all those things factor into whether you're going to continue on with something or whether you're going to give up. So we'll dive into what the meal plans or what the meal plans look like. So here's week 1 meal plan, a little snapshot of that. So each weekly meal plan has shopping lists to make life easier. It also has meal prep options. So whether you want to spend 2 to 3 hours on a Sunday doing some prep, or you just want to spend 30 minutes, we've got options in there for meal prep. So it's got the full plan. It's got the 3 meals and snacks. We also have level 1 and level 2 options in the meal plan. So we have two different types of people coming into the Mama Recharge method. There could be one on one spectrum where you are coming into it, you are eating a lot of junk food, you're just so busy, your cravings are crazy, so you are getting fast food a lot. You are eating a whole lot of like frozen meals. You just aren't eating real great. So if you're coming into it, we've got a level 1 for you. There might be somebody else who already is eating really clean. They've been really doing well, but they still don't feel great and they need to take it up that next notch. So we've got level 2 options for that person. So coming into, if you're somewhere in the middle, you have that option, and you have that option with, you can stick with all level 2, all level 1, or you can kind of go back and forth with that. With either level, you're going to notice big changes. Another thing that was important with these meal plans is to have kid-friendly ideas. So every dinner, because I know this is something that can cause a big struggle. You want to add in new recipes, you want to eat healthier, but your kids aren't going to eat these new healthy recipes. So I personally have a really picky eater, so I know the struggle, and I don't want you to have to make an entirely new meal for your husband or your kids. So with each dinner, there's a kid-friendly idea so that you can make one meal. One example is, so say there's chicken in a dish, it's with a sauce, it's kind of all together. I have you cook the chicken, put some of the chicken aside, so it's just plain chicken. Maybe there is, let's say there's some rice in this dish and it's all combined. Then putting the rice separate is another example. So with every dinner, there's ideas for even the pickiest eater for them to enjoy it as well and to save you time. So next, what else is included? Recipe ebooks. So this was important because I want, like I said before, I don't want this to be just a 4-week plan and then you have really no support going forward. I wanted you to have all of my favorite recipes. So these ebooks here are so many of my favorite recipes from the last 6 years of eating this way. So my breakfast ebook is all of my favorite breakfasts. There is things like simple chia puddings, simple bars that you can make ahead of time and have in the freezer, to recipes like something that you might make on a Sunday, like a casserole, like a breakfast casserole. So there's so many choices in there. There is my lunch ebook, which is my favorite lunches. And lunches I love. Personally, I like to do either leftovers, or if I'm not doing that, I like to do salads or soups. So there's all of my favorites in there. Snacks. I love snacks. I love cookies. So there's a lot of different cookies and bar recipes in here that you could still have. So you can still enjoy those things. Also, if your kids love cookies and things like that, you can make these. Hopefully they'll love these as well. But yeah, you can still enjoy foods like that on this plan. They're better quality ingredients, still healthy, still going to help you achieve your goals, whether that's increased energy, weight loss, just feeling better. Supper ebook includes so many of my favorite suppers that I've discovered over the last 6 years, all in that ebook. So what else is included? So it's not just the meal plan in this program. We guide you through, it's really guides you through every different area. I wanted the meal plan to be easier. I wanted it to save you time. I wanted you to have a little bit of time to be able to put into diving into these different areas, because this is an important part of it as well. So every week there's a new video, and I'll show you sort of, I'll just go over this real quick. So week 1, what to eat and what not to eat. So we're going to really dive into that. Week 2, we're going to dive into the blood sugar factor. So I talked about this a little bit in the webinar, but we're going to really dive into that. Week 3, lifestyle hacks. I mentioned that as well in the webinar. We're going to dive into that with some actionable items, some tips and tricks, anything from sleep hacks, falling asleep better quality sleep, exercise. I'm going to give you my favorite exercise videos, different ideas with that. Stress, I'm going to give you different ways to reduce stress. There's some other things I can't think of right now. So week 4, gut health. That's really important in energy, in weight loss, in feeling good. What's going on in your gut is so important. So we're going to really dive into that. We've got some at-home self-tests so you can tell what's going on, and some different tips and tricks there. So along with those weekly videos, we have weekly workbooks. So you're not going to be spending hours, but you will spend a little bit of time each week diving into this. So week 1 is what to eat workbook. Week 2 is your blood sugar workbook. Week 3 is a lifestyle workbook. Week 4 is your gut health workbook. And I've got some bonuses as well. So bonus number 1 is your kitchen staples guide. This I love for before you start the program. So we start the program. Our next group session is January 21st. So Monday, January 21st. So I love that you can dive in right away as soon as you join on the program. Grab the kitchen staples guide, start going through your pantry, your fridge, your freezer, and start stocking your kitchen with the essentials. Get rid of the junk that's going to slow you down. So we've got an entire pantry staples guide here. All the basics that you're going to need to really make that lifestyle shift, that food shift. We also have food swaps. So I like this one. It's kind of like an eat this, not that thing. So let's say you love your evening bowl of ice cream, or you love your Friday night chips or your nightly chips. I give different swaps, different ideas in here that'll really make a difference. So next, bonus number 2 is our Better Digestion Workbook. Digestion, whether you know you have issues with digestion or not, is an issue with so many of us. And poor digestion can lead to low energy. It can lead to weight gain. it can lead to feeling like crap. So this is an important area to dive into. So that's why I've added in this bonus workbook. We will dive into, with digestion, we can do some at-home self-tests that don't cost you anything to have a look at how your digestion is doing. There's some tips and tricks. It's starting to get late. I can't talk as well, so I'll slow down a little bit. Some tips and tricks with digestion that don't cost anything, that will help you digest your food better. There is some inexpensive supplements that if you find your digestion isn't great, add those in. That can make a big difference with energy, with how you're feeling. And so we dive into some other things there. So what else do you need? You are going to need support. So in order to continue with this, in order to be successful with this, you're going to need support. You're going to need accountability. You need your questions answered whenever they come up. So that's why I created bonus number 3. And that's our private Facebook community for the Mama Recharged Method members. So this is for members of the Method program only. So you know that all the moms in this group are going through very similar things. They've either gone through this program already or going through it with you. And a lot of the moms that have gone through it, say last year, a lot of them will be doing it again with you. So it's nice that you've got that support of those people who have been there already. So it's support and accountability, and you have lifetime access to that Facebook community. So let's talk about what people are saying. So we have run this program twice already, last January and last June. We run it twice a year, the start of the new year, and then to get ready for summer. So I'm going to share with you some of what people have emailed me about the program and the results. So I was part of the Mama Recharged program, and Terry ran it in January of this year. I joined as yet one more attempt to try to figure out what was wrong with my body. For the past 4 years, I've tried multiple diets, supplements, acupuncture, naturopaths, you name it. I likely tried it. After having my second baby, my body greatly changed, and one symptom was chronic stomach discomfort. Eliminating several food groups, as done in Mama Recharged, proved quickly that dairy and gluten were no longer friends with my stomach. I now know that if I want to cheat and have some, I will for sure be paying for it in a matter of hours. So glad to have found the answers to that. Terry is also incredibly encouraging and went out of her way to get different questions and concerns answered for me. I highly recommend the program to anybody who is interested in learning more about what agrees with their body in an encouraging and informative online environment. So that was Amy. Joyce says, after discovering my problems with eating gluten, I was curious how else food was affecting my health. So I joined this program. I learned that my body also has a sucky reaction to dairy and is happier without sugar. If you're feeling weirdly tired, bloated, itchy, coffee, that's a word, or just curious about food's effects on your day-to-day energy, I recommend you commit yourself to this plan. Terry Watt will walk with you. I was very surprised to learn that cheese and yogurt, I haven't liked milk in years, affects me negatively. I did not expect that. It's not difficult now to learn to eat a different way because of all the benefits. My energy is up, my bowels have returned to near normal, my cough is largely gone, and no bronchitis this winter. Thanks for leading us in this, Joyce. And I've got a fast action bonus for you guys. So purchase before the end of this webinar. So you've got probably about, we'll say about half an hour. What time is it right now? 9:21. So let's say until 10 o'clock. We're going to be done in a couple minutes, but fast action bonus will end at 10 o'clock. So I've got 3 bonus ebooks. Valentine's Day treats is one. So with Valentine's Day coming up, I don't want you to feel deprived. I want you to be able to still enjoy those fun foods and still celebrate different holidays. So this is one example where you can still eat treats, you can still enjoy and indulge a little bit, but still stay on track and still have nourishing foods that your body isn't going to, that's not going to cause sort of an inflammatory reaction, cause those blood sugar spikes, things like that. So some of my favorites in here, some Valentine's Day treats. The next one is kid favorites. So most of us are moms, if not all of us are moms, and we're wanting to eat healthier. So we want to have kid-friendly options because we don't want just foods that they're not going to like. Another bonus with this is all these kid-friendly foods in here are Mama Charged approved. So they're all gluten-free, they're all dairy-free, they're all healthy ingredients. So you can enjoy these as well. I love kid-friendly foods as much as my kids do. And this is a big ebook. This is, I think it's probably like 30 recipes. The Winter Comforts book too is a big one as well. It's probably at least 30 recipes. So many of my favorite comforting foods like soups and stews and just roasted, oven roasted foods. This one on the cover here, I believe, is a paleo porridge. So just warming, comforting foods. So if you're thinking about this program, purchase right away so that you get those bonuses in there. So I want to stop and take a minute to just think, if all this did was allow you freedom from your cravings and an end to evening binges, if all it did was provide you with energy throughout the day, if all it did was stop the endless cycle of going on and off diets, if all it did was never having to diet again, would it be worth it? So I just wanted you to pause and just kind of think about that for a little bit. And I'm going to dive into another mom who went through this. I think she went through this in January with us. And these are some of the messages that she sent to me. She emailed me these pictures, and I got, she allowed me to share this with you guys. So these are a couple different emails. Here, I'll go over this. So she says, thanks so much for all your advice and tips. I don't know anyone who's gluten-free, so I feel like I couldn't do it without your help and knowledge. I've introduced so many new healthy meals and snacks into our household. It's been really great. So here's my progress pictures after only 2 weeks. It's quite astounding. Definitely less red and angry looking. I'm going to keep at it. The nausea is finally gone, and like you said it would, I really have no cravings anymore. I'm finding it quite easy. I'm sure I'll make this a lifestyle change. And another email she sent to me, she said, still going strong, 7 weeks gluten-free. My bumps on my face are practically gone, but the redness still remains. I wanted to let you know, though, that my husband has had his skin on his face flare up for about 4 years now, and we couldn't pinpoint why. Then after me feeling great without gluten, he decided to give it a try. After 1 week, he had no face flare-ups. Last night, after eating a bowl of multigrain Cheerios, which he didn't realize had wheat in them, he had a face flare-up. Tingly, red. Finally, wheat wasn't even on the radar with him. Crazy. I find it easy now to keep gluten out. I think I can make it a life change for sure. I like how not eating it makes me feel. I'm going to keep going with this. My guts just feel good. I always tell people that I used to have pains, cramping, bloating, and now I can't feel any of that. And not only that, but my guts just feel good. It's so hard to explain, but I'm loving the results so far. That's from Valerie. So when I get emails like this, like, it almost makes me cry, because it really is life-changing when there's so many moms, and I also know that so many moms are going through this. You might not be having the nausea. There's so many people have different symptoms. So many of us are just feeling like crap, and we don't have to. So yeah, I love when I see that, see these changes. So let's talk about the investment. So our regular price of this program is $197, but now it's on for $147. So I do have two options now I'm going to dive into in a minute. But the sale price right now is $147. That's going to be increasing again on Thursday night. You also have a money back guarantee. So I know back when I was looking at programs myself, when I was looking to make a change, I didn't want to spend all that money to dive into it if it wasn't going to be right for me. So that's why I wanted you to have the opportunity to join the program and have a look around and see if it's right for you. If it's not right for you, if it's not going to fit in with your lifestyle, then I want you to be able to get your money back. So if you decide this program is not right for you once you're in, you can get a full refund within the first 7 days and keep the Kitchen Staples Guide, and the first 7-day plan is my gift to you. So if that's a concern for you, I want you to know that's there. Also, I mentioned our next group session begins January 21st. So I hope you'll be joining us. And to get started, or actually, I'm just going to recap what you're going to get, and then I'll move on to the other option our new option that I have for you. So you're going to get the Mama Recharged 4-week plan. You're going to get the weekly videos plus bonuses. You're going to get the breakfast, lunch, supper, and snacks ebooks. You're going to get the bonus kitchen staples guide, the bonus better digestion guide, the bonus private group for support and accountability. Plus, you're going to have constant support from myself and constant access to me going through this journey and this transition for you. You're going to get the fast action bonuses if you purchase within the next about 20 minutes. That's our Valentine's Day treats, our kids' favorites, and our winter comforts ebooks. And all of that is a value of over $500. Now you can get it for just $147. But I have another option for you that's an even better value. So I am going to, oops, it's frozen for a second. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to switch over to my information page, and I'm going to show you that. So this is a new option that we are offering now. We haven't offered it before with the Method program. I love this option, and I recommend this option most, but both of them are good deals, especially with that sale happening right now. So let me scroll to, so this page I'm on right now, it's linked up in the webinar page you're looking at right now, that you are currently looking at. So if you want to scroll to that, you'll find more information on here. So I'm going to scroll down to our second option. So you'll see here now, you now have two options. So the Mama Recharged Method program, only $147, like I mentioned. And with that, you get lifetime access to this program. So you can join in any of the current or future group sessions or start anytime. So with that, like I said, we had people join last January. So those people can join again for this group session to sort of get a refresh, a reboot. Our new option here is you can get a full year of plans, tools, and support, plus the Mama Recharged Method access to that. So if you want a full 12 months access to the membership, plus the Mama Recharged Method, you can get that now for only $197. So the Mama Recharged membership has been really helpful. It's been popular with moms this past year. We started this up in February, I believe it was, this past year. Our regular monthly price in the membership is $24.99. So if you times that by 12, regular price for a year in the membership is $300. And you get the bonus, the Mama Recharged Method program access in there. Plus, I didn't write that in here, but you also get the 7-day cleanse access in there. So the sale price of the method is $147 plus the $300 gives you $447. Right now, it's only $197 to get 12-month access in the membership, plus your access to the Mama Recharged Method program. And like I said before, the value of the Mama Recharged Method is over $500. So that's a value of much more than $447. So this I love because you get the Method program and you're making all those changes. Then continuing on, you get a full year of support. You get a full year of meal plans. We've got a database of over 50 meal plans with clean and simple recipes, with shopping lists that go along with it, and prep guides and challenges, monthly giveaways. There's a few other things I'm missing, monthly coaching calls. So I love this. If you are really serious about making changes for 2019, then I highly recommend this option. So we are going to go back into the, I'm going to go back to here, and I've got a free gift for you. I'm going to announce our giveaway. I meant to show it on the screen before. I don't think I want to flip my screen because I might not be able to bring it back. Okay, so we've got your free gift. First, I'll mention this. Free gift just for watching. We've got our 1-day meal plan, which it's a 1-day plan, but there's extra recipes in there. They are some of my favorites. So you can get that right here. members. So if you type that in, because this isn't clickable, type that into your browser, or I can see if I can type that into the chat box. members.mumrecharged.com/webinar gift. So I think, oh, you know what? I can't. I'm going to escape out of there. And then I also have the full 1-week meal plan that I'm sharing with you guys as well. So I'm going to link those in. And so just give me 1 second. I'm going to copy and paste those in, and you'll be able to open them up right away. You don't have to put in your name or email or anything. So this should work right away. And if you have any questions, you can put those in now. So that should be a clickable link right there. And then I'm going to copy and paste the other one. So this also gives you support to get started with everything you learned right now. I don't think that went in there correctly. Let's see. Okay, maybe this will be better. Or if you want to get an idea of what the meal plans look like in the membership and the method program. Let's see, where am I going? Right here. Okay, so that one works. That middle one doesn't work, but grab those and that'll bring it up for you. If you want to save it, what I like to do is to put it in your browser and then add it to favorites or add it to bookmarks, and you can refer back to it all week if you want to try those out, or in the future if you want to go back to those recipes. So I have 1 or 2, I think I've got one more thing. So the giveaway, we did a draw. We actually did this at the first webinar. I can't show you guys because I'm on my screen share right now, but the winner, let me see if I can find it. So the winner that we drew in the first webinar was Jamie Rempel. So she gets a choice of a full-size supplement, either our Samara Organic Complete Kids and Teens formula or a full-size bottle of doctor-formulated Garden of Life probiotics, once daily women's 50 billion. So I'm going to message her and she gets to choose that. And that actually is, we do a giveaway every month in the membership. And it's a choice of supplements like that. The winner gets the choice. So that's a members only giveaway. So congratulations, Jamie, on winning that. I think that is about it. I'm just going to escape out of here, see if there's any questions before I close out. Thank you guys for joining. It looks like we were just over an hour. I'm going to see if there's any question. Doesn't look like it. Any questions afterwards? So you've got a few more minutes to join and get those fast action bonuses. Any questions before then about it? I'm here to answer them. So message me through this or through Facebook or email, and I'm happy to answer them. So thanks again, guys, for watching. And I think that's about it for tonight. And let's see if I know how to close out of this. Okay, thanks, guys, and bye.